Stop scrolling and listen to today's Arcturian Council message. Arcturian Council recent action was so powerful that the source released a miracle for you. A cosmic intervention has already been set in motion, and the fact that you are here proves you were targeted by this frequency. This is not a gentle message, and it was never meant to be. What you are about to hear is disruptive, unsettling, and activating, because the Arcturian Council does not whisper when a soul is moments away from a breakthrough. They speak when timelines fracture and when dormant potential becomes dangerous to ignore. Right now, energetic pressure is building around your life, not to crush you, but to force open a door you have subconsciously avoided. Many who hear this message will feel a sudden wave of heat, emotion, or resistance. Those are signs of recalibration, not fear. You were not meant to stumble upon this, you were pulled here because your frequency crossed a threshold. The shock you feel is the signal that something old is collapsing. This is the end of waiting energy and the beginning of undeniable movement. The Council states clearly, delay is no longer permitted in your field. Backhand index pointing right type I am ready to claim this activation. The Arcturian Council reveals that a recent collective action they initiated sent a surge through the source field, triggering a rare override protocol. This override does not happen often, and it is never random. It activates only when a human consciousness reaches a point where continued stagnation would cause spiritual harm. That is why this feels intense. You may have noticed disruptions lately: sleep disturbances, sudden endings, emotional flashes from the past, or people acting strangely around you. These are not coincidences, they are signs that the old energetic scaffolding around your life is being dismantled. The miracle released is not a lottery win or fantasy rescue, it is something far more powerful, a realignment that makes certain outcomes unavoidable. What was once possible is now being repositioned as inevitable. Resistance will feel painful, surrender will feel electric. Backhand index pointing right type I accept to align with this shift. Here is the part that may shock you: the Council confirms that you were underestimated by your own past self. Versions of you from previous cycles believed survival was the goal, but the current cycle demands expression, visibility, and expansion. This is why hiding feels unbearable now. The miracle released through Source is designed to remove invisibility from your field. You may suddenly feel exposed, emotional, or called out of isolation. That discomfort is proof that your signal is increasing in strength. The Arcturians say that staying small now would create energetic backlash, which is why life has been pushing you. You are not being punished, you are being accelerated. This message acts as a stabilizer so the expansion does not overwhelm your nervous system. Let it land. Let it rewire you. Backhand index pointing right type I step forward to anchor this frequency. The Council also warns that miracles are misunderstood by the human mind. A miracle does not always arrive as relief, sometimes it arrives as collapse. Structures built on compromise cannot survive higher frequencies. If something in your life feels like it is cracking, that is the miracle in motion. Source did not release comfort, it released truth. And truth has weight. You may feel called to speak things you once swallowed, or walk away from dynamics you once tolerated. This is not recklessness, it is energetic hygiene. The Arcturians emphasize that what leaves now cannot follow you into the next harmonic layer. Grief may appear, but it is temporary. Regret would be permanent. Choose movement. Backhand index pointing right type I release to clear the old timeline. At this stage, many listeners feel fear rise, because the ego equates the unknown with danger. The Council addresses this directly: the fear you feel is not a warning, it is withdrawal. Old identity patterns are losing access to your energy supply. They will protest. They will create doubt. They will replay memories designed to keep you predictable. Do not negotiate with them. The miracle from Source includes energetic protection that activates only when you refuse to shrink. That protection does not block challenges, it ensures that challenges cannot destroy you. This is a crucial distinction. You are being trained, not tested. Backhand index pointing right type I trust to lock in protection. The Arcturians now draw attention to your physical body, because transformation is not only spiritual. You may notice changes in appetite, fatigue patterns, or sensitivity to environments. This is because your body is recalibrating to hold more signal without burnout. Rest when called, but do not retreat. There is a difference. Stillness is allowed, avoidance is not. The miracle released carries a biological component. Your nervous system is learning safety in expansion rather than contraction. This is advanced integration work, and you are handling it better than you think. Backhand index pointing right type I integrate to support this upgrade. A powerful revelation emerges here. The Council states that someone connected to your path is also being activated by this same wave, whether they are conscious of it or not. This can show up as sudden contact, conflict, or separation. Do not cling to outcomes. The miracle adjusts relational trajectories so they match your true frequency. If someone rises with you, it will feel natural. If they fall away, it will feel sharp but clean. Source is removing distortions from your mirrors. This is liberation, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. Backhand index pointing right type I allow alignment to harmonize relationships. Now listen carefully, because this is rarely shared. The Arcturian Council confirms that timing has collapsed. What you once thought would take years is being compressed into months or weeks. This acceleration can feel disorienting, like life is moving too fast. That sensation is not chaos, it is efficiency. You are being moved out of unnecessary loops. Pay attention to sudden opportunities and impulses that feel too big. Those are invitations, not traps. Overthinking will slow the miracle, presence will amplify it. Backhand index pointing right type I move now to stay in flow. The Council acknowledges that part of you still doubts whether you deserve this level of intervention. Let that thought pass without attachment. Worthiness is not a requirement, resonance is. You resonated, so you were included. Simple as that. The miracle does not ask for perfection, only participation. Show up honestly, even when messy. Especially when messy. Source responds faster to authenticity than polish. Backhand index pointing right type I show up to affirm participation. This is where the first phase of the message stabilizes. What happens next depends on how you engage after this moment. The Arcturians are clear: awareness without action creates tension. Even a small aligned step within the next 24 hours will signal readiness and unlock the next layer. Do not wait for certainty. Certainty follows movement, not the other way around. This is the threshold. Step through it. Backhand index pointing right type I claim this miracle to seal the activation. The Arcturian Council now deepens the transmission, and this is where many feel an internal resistance spike. That resistance is not intuition, it is the last defense mechanism of an outdated identity realizing it can no longer control the narrative. You have lived many cycles believing you needed permission to rest, to rise, to speak, to choose differently. The Council states unequivocally that permission structures were dissolved the moment this miracle was released. No external authority has jurisdiction over your next move. This realization can feel destabilizing because it places responsibility back into your hands. Freedom often does. You may notice memories surfacing that remind you of moments when you gave your power away just to feel safe or accepted. Do not judge those moments, they were survival strategies. But survival is no longer the assignment. Expansion is. And expansion demands self-authorship. The miracle works fastest when you stop asking, "Is this allowed?" and start asking, "Is this aligned?" Your body already knows the answer before your mind finishes the question. Trust that intelligence. Backhand index pointing right. Type I claim my authority to activate self-authorship. Here comes a truth that may feel unsettling. The council reveals that certain delays in your life were engineered, not accidental. This does not mean you were punished, it means you were protected. There were timelines where you would have reached certain goals too early, without the inner structure to sustain them, leading to collapse or disillusionment. Those timelines were gently closed. Now, the opposite is happening. Momentum is being deliberately restored. Doors that once felt sealed may open abruptly, and the speed of change may feel almost aggressive. This is intentional. The miracle released by Source includes a recalibrated sense of timing so that your outer life finally matches your inner readiness. Do not romanticize the past delays or resent them. They trained your discernment. They taught you patience, boundaries, and self-trust. Those qualities are not optional where you are going. Backhand index pointing right. Type I honor the timing to harmonize with this phase. The Arcturian Council now addresses your emotional field, because suppressed emotion is the primary reason miracles stall. You were taught explicitly or subtly that feeling deeply was unsafe, inconvenient, or weak. As a result, you learned to intellectualize pain rather than metabolize it. The miracle released includes an emotional clearing wave, which is why feelings may rise without obvious triggers. Tears, anger, nostalgia, or sudden joy are signs of circulation returning to places that were frozen. Do not suppress this movement. Emotion is energy asking for motion. When you allow it to pass through, you free massive creative power. The Council emphasizes that emotional honesty accelerates manifestation faster than visualization ever could. Feel fully, then move forward lighter. Backhand index pointing right. Type I feel and release to support emotional clearing. A significant energetic recalibration is now occurring around your sense of purpose. The Council states that purpose is not a single task or title, it is a frequency of contribution. Many humans waste years trying to figure out their purpose, when in reality it reveals itself through consistent alignment. Notice what expands you rather than drains you. Notice where time disappears rather than drags. These are clues, not coincidences. The miracle does not hand you a rigid destiny, it sharpens your signal so your path becomes obvious through lived experience. Confusion dissolves when you stop forcing answers and start following resonance. Purpose is not found in pressure, it is found in permission. Backhand index pointing right. Type I follow resonance to clarify your path. The Council now issues a firm warning, delivered with compassion but without dilution. Not everyone will understand the changes you are making. Some will misinterpret your growth as rejection, arrogance, or abandonment. This is not your responsibility to manage. Over-explaining is a form of self-betrayal. The miracle released includes energetic boundaries that activate when you choose clarity over appeasement. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They ensure that what reaches you is compatible with your nervous system and your mission. Expect pushback when you stop being predictable. That pushback is confirmation, not contradiction. Backhand index pointing right. Type I hold my boundaries to stabilize this protection. Now the Council turns your attention to the present moment, because presence is the access point for all miracles. You may notice that when you are fully engaged listening, creating, Moving time feels different. This is because presence collapses unnecessary mental loops. The miracle operates in presence, not in regret or anticipation. If you find your mind drifting to worst-case scenarios or past mistakes, gently return to what is directly in front of you. This simple act recalibrates your entire field. Presence is not passive, it is the most active state of creation. Backhand index pointing right, type I am present to anchor this frequency. The Arcturian Council reveals that your intuition is being recalibrated to operate with greater precision. This may temporarily feel like uncertainty, because old intuitive signals were filtered through fear and conditioning. As those filters dissolve, intuition becomes quieter but clearer. It will not shout. It will nudge. Learn to listen to subtlety. The miracle strengthens this channel, but it requires trust. Acting on small intuitive hits builds confidence, which sharpens perception further. This is a feedback loop of alignment. Backhand index pointing right, type I trust my signal to enhance intuition. A profound shift is occurring in how you relate to effort. The Council explains that struggle-based creation is being phased out of your field. This does not mean life becomes effortless, it means effort becomes efficient. You will be guided to apply energy where it multiplies rather than drains. Pay attention to what feels sustainable. Burnout is not a badge of honor, it is a sign of misalignment. The miracle includes recalibrated energy economics, less force, more flow. Backhand index pointing right, type I choose flow to optimize energy use. The Council now acknowledges a fear many carry silently, the fear of outgrowing familiar versions of yourself. Growth can feel like loss because identity is involved. But remember, you are not abandoning who you were, you are integrating them. Every version of you served a purpose. Thank them. Then move on. The miracle honors continuity while enabling evolution. You do not need to erase your past to step into your future. Backhand index pointing right, type I integrate my past to unify timelines. This segment concludes with a grounding directive. The Council advises you to translate insight into action quickly, even if imperfectly. Momentum is a stabilizer. Waiting for flawless conditions is a subtle form of avoidance. The miracle responds to motion, not hesitation. Choose one aligned action today, small, clear, intentional. That action becomes a signal flare to source that you are participating consciously. And participation is what keeps the channel open. Backhand index pointing right, type I take aligned action to keep the miracle active. The Arcturian Council now delivers a second shock, and this one is not gentle. They state clearly that comfort has been one of the greatest illusions slowing your evolution. Comfort kept you familiar, predictable, and energetically available to systems that could not take you further. This is why recent discomfort has felt sharper than usual. It is not random chaos, it is precision disruption. The miracle released by Source is designed to break dependency on familiar pain patterns, even the ones you learned to tolerate well. You may notice that things which once distracted or soothed you no longer work. Old coping mechanisms feel empty. This is intentional. You are being weaned from survival habits so you can access creative power. When comfort dissolves, clarity rushes in. Do not rush to replace the discomfort, listen to it. It is pointing you toward a truer alignment that cannot be accessed from numbness. Backhand index pointing right, type I release false comfort to align with this recalibration. The Council now addresses scarcity consciousness, because it cannot coexist with the frequency you are entering. Scarcity is not about money alone, it is about time, love, opportunity, and self-trust. You may have noticed a subtle urgency in your thoughts, a fear of missing out or falling behind. This is the echo of an outdated operating system. The miracle released includes a recalibration of perceived availability. When you align with your true frequency, resources respond faster, synchronicities increase, and support appears from unexpected directions. This does not happen through force. It happens through coherence. Scarcity collapses when you stop trying to control outcomes and start cooperating with timing. The Council emphasizes that you do not need to hoard energy or opportunity. There is more where this came from, and it is responsive to your state, not your struggle. Backhand index pointing right type I exit scarcity to shift into coherence. A deeply personal revelation emerges here. The Arcturian Council confirms that part of your soul memory includes leadership, not dominance, but guidance through embodiment. This may surprise you if you have avoided visibility or felt uncomfortable being seen. Leadership in this sense does not require a platform, it requires integrity. Others unconsciously read your nervous system, your choices, and your self-respect. When you align, permission ripples outward. The miracle released amplifies this influence, which is why self-betrayal now feels unbearable. You can no longer lie to yourself without immediate energetic consequences. This is not punishment, it is refinement. You are being tuned to a higher standard because others benefit from your clarity. Backhand index pointing right type I lead by alignment to stabilize this role. The Council now speaks about endings, because endings have been clustering around you for a reason. Endings are often mislabeled as failures when they are actually completions. Something in your life has run its full energetic course, and prolonging it would drain you. The miracle released by Source includes graceful exits, even if they feel abrupt. Sudden clarity, final conversations, or a loss of interest are signals that energy has moved on. Do not chase what is leaving. Chasing collapses dignity and delays renewal. Let endings close cleanly so beginnings can arrive without distortion. Backhand index pointing right type I allow completion to free trapped energy. Now comes a grounding instruction that may feel surprisingly practical. The Council emphasizes that your environment matters more than you realize. Physical spaces hold memory and frequency. Clutter, noise, and visual chaos tax your nervous system and dilute focus. The miracle responds to order, not perfection. Even small acts of organization, clearing a surface, opening a window, changing lighting, signal readiness for higher coherence. You are not required to overhaul your life overnight. You are required to make space. Space invites signal. Backhand index pointing right type I make space to support manifestation. The Arcturian Council now addresses rest, because many misunderstand its function. Rest is not withdrawal from life, it is integration of life. Without integration, expansion becomes fragmentation. You may feel called to pause more intentionally, not out of exhaustion, but out of awareness. This kind of rest sharpens intuition and restores creative bandwidth. The miracle includes permission to stop proving your worth through constant motion. Value is inherent, not earned through depletion. When you rest strategically, your actions become more potent. Backhand index pointing right type I rest with purpose to balance expansion. A strong warning is delivered here: distraction will be more tempting than ever. As your frequency rises, lower-level patterns will attempt to reclaim attention through noise, drama, and compulsive consumption. This is not because you are weak, it is because you are powerful. Attention is currency. Where you place it determines what grows. The miracle strengthens your ability to choose focus, but choice must be exercised. Notice what fragments you and what consolidates you. Choose consolidation. Backhand index pointing right type I protect my focus to retain momentum. The Council now speaks to trust, not as belief, but as behavior. Trust is revealed through the actions you take when outcomes are uncertain. Do you contract or expand? Do you hide or engage? The miracle responds to embodied trust showing up before guarantees appear. This is how new timelines are entered. Waiting for proof keeps you anchored to the past. Acting from alignment generates proof. Backhand index pointing right, type I act in trust to enter the new timeline. An unexpected softness enters the transmission here. The Arcturians remind you that compassion for yourself accelerates growth faster than criticism ever could. Self-judgment creates friction, self-respect creates flow. Notice how you speak to yourself internally. Would you speak that way to someone you love? The miracle amplifies whatever tone you use inwardly. Choose wisely. Backhand index pointing right, type I speak with kindness to soften resistance. This segment closes with a powerful stabilizer. The council confirms that nothing has gone wrong. Even the confusion, even the pauses, even the mistakes, they were data, not detours. You are exactly where recalibration can occur most efficiently. Let go of the narrative that you are behind. You are on time for the version of yourself that is now emerging. The miracle is not ahead of you, it is unfolding through you. Backhand index pointing right, type I am on time to seal this phase. The Arcturian Council now delivers a transmission that many are not prepared to hear, yet it arrives precisely because you are prepared enough. They state that your current life structure was never meant to be permanent. Stability, as you once defined it, was a training ground, not a destination. This is why parts of your life now feel strangely hollow even when they appear successful on the surface. Your soul is no longer satisfied with maintenance-level living. The miracle released by Source disrupts false permanence and replaces it with living architecture, structures that grow, adapt, and breathe with you. This can feel frightening because it removes the illusion of control. But control was never safety, adaptability is. You are being invited to build a life that can expand without breaking. That requires flexibility, courage, and the willingness to update your identity in real time. Backhand index pointing right, type I adapt and expand to claim this upgrade. The council now turns your attention to truth, not as an abstract concept, but as a lived frequency. Truth is what remains when performance drops away. Many have learned to perform emotions, roles, and even healing. That era is ending for you. The miracle released carries a truth amplifier, meaning anything misaligned becomes uncomfortable very quickly. You may notice impatience with superficial conversations, performative relationships, or environments that require you to fragment yourself. This is not arrogance, it is coherence asserting itself. When you live in truth, energy stops leaking. You recover time, vitality, and clarity. This is why honesty with yourself is no longer optional. Backhand index pointing right, type I live in truth to stabilize coherence. Here the council introduces a rehook, and it is meant to shake you awake. If you attempt to return to who you were, your life will resist you. Doors will feel heavy. Motivation will collapse. This is not failure, it is a lockout. The miracle includes a one-way energetic gate. You can pause, rest, and integrate, but regression will feel increasingly painful. This is how Source protects momentum. You are being guided forward even when your mind hesitates. Let the resistance to going backward be proof that you are being carried. Backhand index pointing right, type I move forward to align with momentum. The council now speaks about identity death, a process rarely discussed openly. Identity death is not about losing yourself, it is about shedding survival masks that once kept you safe but now limit expression. You may grieve old versions of yourself, the one who endured quietly, the one who compromised often, the one who stayed because leaving felt too dangerous. Honor them. They got you here. but they cannot go where you are headed. The miracle released includes compassion for these versions, so the transition does not harden your heart. Backhand index pointing right, type I honor who I was to integrate the transition. A powerful recalibration occurs around self-worth. The council states that your worth has never been negotiable, yet you learn to treat it as conditional. Conditional worth creates exhaustion because it must be constantly proven. The miracle dissolves this pattern at the nervous system level. You may notice a reduced tolerance for situations where you feel evaluated, measured, or minimized. This is self-respect coming online. Worth no longer needs defense when it is embodied. Backhand index pointing right, type I embody my worth to anchor this shift. The Arcturians now address choice. Not dramatic, life-altering choices but small, daily ones. What you consume, what you tolerate, what you postpone. These micro-choices compound rapidly in the frequency you are entering. The miracle magnifies consequence, not to punish, but to educate. Alignment becomes obvious because results arrive faster. Pay attention. Feedback is immediate now. Backhand index pointing right, type I choose consciously to work with acceleration. The council now reveals that creativity will become a primary stabilizer for you. Creativity is not limited to art, it is how you solve problems, express emotion, and imagine alternatives. Suppressed creativity turns inward and becomes anxiety. Expressed creativity becomes clarity. The miracle restores creative flow, but you must give it channels. Write, speak, build, move, let energy move through form. Backhand index pointing right, type I express freely to unlock creative flow. A sobering but empowering truth arrives here: you are no longer meant to be rescued. Waiting for rescue keeps power external. The miracle replaces rescue fantasies with self-trust and support that meets you in motion. Help will appear when you are moving, not hiding. This is maturity, not abandonment. Backhand index pointing right, type I support myself to activate sovereignty. The council now addresses fear of visibility. Being seen once meant risk. Now it means resonance. You are not being asked to perform or impress, only to be real. Authentic visibility attracts aligned connections and repels distortions. The miracle strengthens this filter. Let yourself be seen as you are, not as you think you should be. Backhand index pointing right, type I allow myself to be seen to align visibility. This phase concludes with a stabilizing truth: you are not late, broken, or behind. You are precisely calibrated for this moment. The confusion you felt was not failure, it was transition. The miracle did not arrive to fix you, it arrived to free you. Stand in that knowing. Let it settle into your body. This is not hype. This is alignment made undeniable. Backhand index pointing right, type I am aligned to seal this transmission. The Arcturian Council now opens a layer that many never reach because it requires radical honesty. They explain that clarity is not something you wait for, it is something that emerges when you stop lying to yourself about what is no longer working. You have known for a long time where you were out of alignment, but you delayed action because change threatened familiar identities and routines. The miracle released by Source removes the fog that once allowed half-truths to survive. You may feel an almost brutal level of self-awareness now. Patterns reveal themselves instantly. Excuses lose credibility. This can feel confronting, but it is also deeply liberating. When you see clearly, you waste no energy pretending. Clarity restores power that was lost to confusion and self-negotiation. This is why indecision feels painful now. Your system is optimized for truth-based movement. Backhand index pointing right, type I choose clarity to stabilize this awareness. The council now speaks about emotional courage, because knowing the truth is meaningless without the bravery to act on it. Emotional courage is the willingness to feel what you have been avoiding: disappointment, grief, desire, anger, without collapsing or outsourcing responsibility. The miracle strengthens your emotional spine, allowing you to stay present even when feelings intensify. This is why emotional waves may feel stronger but shorter. They move through instead of getting stuck. You are learning that emotions do not control you, they inform you. When you allow yourself to feel fully, you gain access to wisdom that logic alone cannot provide. This emotional fluency is a key requirement for the next phase of your evolution. Backhand index pointing right, type I face my feelings to anchor emotional courage. Now the council addresses self-trust, and they are uncompromising here. Self-trust is not positive thinking, it is reliability in action. Do you follow through on what you know is right? Do you keep promises to yourself, even small ones? The miracle magnifies the consequences of self-betrayal and self-honoring alike. When you keep your word to yourself, energy consolidates. When you don't, energy scatters. This is not judgment, it is physics. You are being trained to become someone you can rely on. And once self-trust is established, external trust follows naturally. Backhand index pointing right, type I keep my word to strengthen self-trust. The Arcturian Council now delivers another shock. Not all growth feels expansive at first. Some growth feels like stillness, like nothing is happening, like you are suspended between worlds. This liminal space is not stagnation, it is reorganization. The miracle works deeply in these quiet phases, rearranging internal structures so future movement is sustainable. If you feel paused, resist the urge to panic or force progress. Stillness is doing more than you think. Seeds germinate underground. Backhand index pointing right, type I trust the pause to honor integration. The council now brings attention to your relationship with time. Linear urgency was a survival adaptation, not a truth. You were taught to rush, compare, and measure yourself against arbitrary milestones. The miracle recalibrates your perception of time so you can act decisively without panic. When urgency drops, precision increases. You will notice that when you stop rushing, the right actions become obvious. Time begins to cooperate instead of pressure. Backhand index pointing right, type I release urgency to realign with natural timing. A powerful recalibration now occurs around forgiveness, not as moral obligation, but as energetic hygiene. Holding resentment binds you to outdated versions of yourself and others. Forgiveness does not mean reconciliation or forgetting, it means releasing the emotional charge so energy can move forward. The miracle supports this release by restoring perspective. You may suddenly see past events with neutrality instead of pain. This is not bypassing, it is resolution. Backhand index pointing right, type I release the past to clear emotional residue. The council now speaks directly to your creative life force. Desire is returning where numbness once lived. Wanting more does not make you greedy, it makes you alive. The miracle reignites healthy desire rooted in alignment rather than lack. Pay attention to what excites you without draining you. Desire is guidance when it comes from wholeness. Backhand index pointing right, type I honor my desire to fuel creation. Another grounding truth is delivered: you do not need to convince anyone of your transformation. Explanation is unnecessary when embodiment is present. People feel your alignment before they understand it. The miracle removes the need for validation. Approval seeking dissolves as self-respect solidifies. Let your life speak. Backhand index pointing right, type I release validation to stand sovereign. The council now reminds you that integration is ongoing. There is no final arrival point, no static state of enlightenment. Growth is cyclical, not linear. The miracle is not a single event, it is a new operating system. Be patient with yourself as you learn it. Curiosity will serve you better than perfection. Backhand index pointing right, type I, stay open to continue evolving. This transmission concludes with the final anchoring truth from the Arcturian Council: you were never meant to be small, silent, or stalled. The miracle released through Source was not random, it was responsive. You reached a frequency where expansion became necessary. What happens next depends on your willingness to live what you now know. Walk forward with awareness, courage, and compassion for yourself. This is not the end of the message, it is the beginning of embodiment. Backhand index pointing right, type I, embody this message to seal the full activation.